What could drop your mortgage payment by $300 a month in San Diego? June 16th and June 17th. Mark those dates because what happens in Washington, D.C. on those 2 days could directly affect what you pay for your home here in San Diego or what your home sells for right now in Chula Vista. Now, mortgage rates right now are sitting around 6.5% on a 30-year fixed loan. That number has been keeping a lot of buyers on the sidelines all year, waiting to buy, people waiting to sell, waiting for something to change. Well, something is about to happen. And today I'm going to break down exactly what it is and what could come out of it and what each possible outcome means for you right now here in San Diego County. Because this is not a Washington story. This is a San Diego story. So before we get into it, every source I reference today is linked in the description below. And if you want to talk through any of this and what it means for your specific situation, call me or text me at 858-832-9025 or use the link to book a free 20-minute call. I'm Corey Reels, and I've been helping families with their real estate goals for over 12 years now. 4 years ago, my family and I relocated to Chula Vista, and we fell in love with this community, the neighborhoods, the people, and the local businesses. It's why we're so passionate about helping families find their place here in San Diego County. Now, when I sit down with buyers and sellers here, I don't just talk about transaction. I think about what comes next for them. Because buying or selling a home is one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. And it deserves to be treated that way with seriousness. Now, quick note before we go further. Everything I'm sharing with you today is for educational purposes. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not predicting what the feds will do. Nobody can do that with actual certainty. So, what I can do is explain the possibilities of what each outcome means for people who are buying or selling homes in our market. Always consult with a licensed professional before making any financial decisions and a licensed real estate agent like myself, and we can discuss that. What is the Fed and why does it matter to you? So let me start with the basics because I know a lot of people hear the words Federal Reserve and immediately tune out. So stay with me because this one affects your wallet directly. The Federal Reserve is essentially the central bank of the United States of America. One of its main jobs is to manage something called the federal funds rate. In plain English, that is the rate in which the banks borrow money from each other. Now, when the Fed raises that rate, borrowing gets more expensive for everyone, including you when you apply for a mortgage. Now, when the Fed cuts it, borrowing gets cheaper and mortgage rates tend to follow over time. Now, the Fed meets every 6 to 7 weeks to decide whether to raise or lower that rate. The next meeting is June 16th and 17th. Right now, the federal funds rate is sitting at 3.5 to 3.75%. The Fed has been holding steady it there since January after cutting it 3 times at the end of 2025. So the question on everyone's minds is simple. Are they going to cut again? Well, if they do, what happens to the mortgage rates? The three possible outcomes. Here is the honest truth. Nobody knows exactly what the Fed will do. Not economists, not Wall Street, not me. Now, what we can do is look at the three possible outcomes and what each one means for buyers and sellers here in San Diego. Outcome one, the Fed holds rates where they are. This is what most experts are currently expecting. Inflation has been stubborn, and the conflict in the Middle East has kept oil prices elevated. Higher oil means higher inflation, and higher inflation means the Fed is unlikely to cut. If rates hold, the mortgage environment stays roughly where it is, that's that mid 6% range. The current market continues on its current path. Prepared home selling, overpriced home sitting. Outcome two, the Fed cuts the rates. Now, here's something important to understand before you get excited. A Fed rate cut does not automatically mean that your mortgage rates drop the next day. Mortgage rates are influenced by the Fed, but they are more closely tied to something called the 10-year Treasury yield. What a cut does is signal to the market that the borrowing costs are moving lower, and over time, that tends to bring mortgage rates down. Even a move from 6.5% to the low sixes changes the monthly payment on an $800,000 loan home by hundreds of dollars. So for buyers who have been on the sidelines waiting for relief, even a small cut can signal something that they need. And more buyers entering the market means more competition for sellers, which is good news for you if you're thinking about listing. Outcome 3, the Fed raises the rates. This is the least likely scenario right now, and the data does not point to it. But if inflation spikes unexpectedly, the Fed could raise rates, which could push mortgage rates higher and reduce buyer purchasing power further. I am naming it so you have the full picture, not because I think it's likely. So, what this means for you in here in San Diego and Chula Vista right now. Now, let me bring you home because national headlines and local reality are two different things, as always. Here's where our market actually stands heading into the Fed meeting. San Diego County median home prices are hovering around 950,000. In Chula Vista specifically, the median home price over the last 30 days is hovering around 800,000, up 2.9% compared to last year. Now, homes in Chula Vista are moving in about 16 to 30 days, depending on price and preparation. And 53% of homes in Chula Vista are still selling above asking price. That is not a dead market. That is a selective market. Now, here's what the rate environment is doing to that picture. On an $800,000 purchase with 10% down, the current monthly payment is roughly $4,800 to $5,100, depending on taxes, insurance, and HOA. That number has kept real buyers on the sidelines, not because they cannot qualify, but because the payment feels too much of a stretch. So if a rate moves from 6.5 to 6% on the same purchase, the monthly payment drops by roughly $300 to $350 a month. That is $3,600 to $4,200 a year. For someone who has been saying, I am almost there, but not quite, that could be the difference. This is why the Fed meeting matters, even if you're never watched the financial news. Now, what to do right now. Now, if you are a buyer, do not wait for the Fed meeting to get your finances in order. Get pre-approved now. The buyer who wins in the rate cut environment are not the ones who start looking after the cut. They're the ones who are already ready when it happens. Now, if you're a seller, understand that the market rewards preparation right now. So if rates drop at the meeting and the buyer demand increases, you want your home ready to go quickly to capture that momentum. So talk to an agent now, like myself. Get the walkthrough done and know the number. And for everyone, do not make a major real estate decision based on solely what the Fed's going to do on June 17th. Your decision to buy or sell should be based on your life, your income, your timeline, your family. The Fed meeting is one data point, not the whole picture. 3 things to walk away with today. 1. The Fed meeting on June 16th and 17th could affect mortgage rates here in San Diego, Chula Vista, and all across the states. A cut improves buyer purchasing power and increases seller demand. A hold keeps things where they are. Nobody knows which way it goes. 2. The meeting does not change your fundamentals. Stable income, solid credit, and a clear plan no matter what the timing is with the Feds. Now get prepared now so you can move quickly either way. 3. The San Diego and Chula Vista market is still moving. Homes priced right and well prepared are selling. The window is open. The question is whether you're ready to walk through it. And if you want to talk through any of this, what it means for your situation, call or text me at 858-832-9025. Use the link below for a free 20-minute call. We will look at your numbers together and make sure that you are in the best position possible, regardless of what happens in Washington on June 17th. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe. I put out a new video each week, and I always give the real picture of what's happening here in the market. Neighbor to neighbor, I'm Corey Rios, and I'll see you on the next one.